Giovanni's presentation, and I will read it from Shamila. I understand that information about allopathic medical drugs are voluntary and can be accepted. Is it the same for the medical plants or is it mandatory? And next question for him once again to Giovanni from Josephat. Please clarify how countries who are still at the field trials are supposed to share country decisions in the BCH. Most African countries have numerous field trials, but products have not announced to commercialization. How do they load their risk assessment and decisions to the BCH database? Thank you. So, Giovanni, could you please address the question?
Yes, Masami, thank you. Can you hear me? Can you confirm?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you. Very loud.
Thank you to all of you. Thank you for the questions. So let's start from the first one about pharmaceuticals. The Cartagena Protocol, and probably this is an introduction that is important for both questions that I received. The Cartagena Protocol is within a multilateral environmental agreement that is its focus is on environment, and therefore there is no matter what kind of use you make of the organism, but if you are dealing with living modified organism, they are covered by the Cartagena Protocol. There is only one specific exclusion, but actually this exclusion sometimes is misunderstood. So it's better to make a very clear reference to Article 5 of the Cartagena Protocol, where it speaks about pharmaceuticals. And it says that the making, notwithstanding Article 4 and without prejudice to any right of a party to subject all LMO to risk assessment prior to the making of decision on import, the Cartagena Protocol shall not apply to the transboundary movement of LMO, which are pharmaceutical for humans that are addressed by other relevant international agreement or organization. This means that if an LMO is for pharmaceutical use for humans and is already addressed by another international agreement or organization, this LMO is accepted. There is an exemption of this LMO to be covered by the Cartagena Protocol. So far, we have no information about LMO that are pharmaceutical for human and that are addressed by other relevant international agreement or organization. Therefore, although this option of exemption is available and it's valid on any LMO who fits this criteria, we do not have, as far as I know, any LMO that meets this criteria so far. So, in summary, all the pharmaceuticals that are not for human or that are not addressed by relevant international organization are definitely within the Cartagena Protocol, covered by the normal obligation under the AIA, that is the Advanced Informed Agreement Procedure, or from Article 11, where they are described procedure for LMO intended for direct use as a food, feed, or processing. And this would bring us to the second question: how can countries decide about field trials? Once again, the Cartagena Protocol comes from an environmental agreement, and as such, it's focused on any type of impact that an LMO may have on the environment, no matter the extension of the release into the environment. So, by going back to Article 7 of the Cartagena Protocol, we say we start describing the Advanced Informed Agreement. We say that the first international transboundary movement of LMO for intentional introduction into the environment of the party of import is subject to the Advanced Informed Agreement. That means a procedure through which the exporter has to ask permission to the importer, and the importer has to take a decision based on a risk assessment on if to accept this import or not. This is no matter about the extension of the release, and therefore field trials are fully part of this procedure, and this has been stressed already by COPMOP 5 and lately by COPMOP 7 in Korea, where actually this was given some emphasis, saying that parties should place special emphasis on the first international transboundary movement of LMO intended for field trials, since this category is currently underrepresented in the BCH. So, once again, a recommendation to place all your information about field trials into the BCH. Thank you. Masami, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Giovanni, for the very clear answer about those two questions. Now that I am seeing the very similar three questions, which we will address later, and then I am picking one from Narmin. She is saying that I would like to kindly ask if there is a determined frequency for uploading information registered in all presented databases. Just to quickly give you from FAO that we are really focusing on having all the backlog uploads to be finished by the end of 2015, and then we are asking to upload, asking the countries to upload the information after the commercialization approval or a risk assessment conducted within 3 months or so. So that is our frequency. Peter or Bertrand from OECD, would you like to answer this question?
Yes, Bertrand speaking. For OECD, we do not have a required deadline for countries to provide information. The information is provided on a voluntary basis. What we do is that we send a reminder concerning this information, inviting countries, our delegates participating in our programs, to do so every year. And in the following months, we received the information from most of them, and this is how we proceed. And then we upload the information on a case-by-case basis as soon as we receive it.
Thank you, Bertrand. Giovanni, would you like to quickly comment on this? Did we lose Giovanni? I suppose we did.
No,
then
no,
I will
sorry. Sorry, I'm here. Can you rephrase the question a moment?
It is about the frequency of uploading. Do you have any determined frequency for uploading the information for your database?
Oh yes, as for the introduction into the environment, therefore the procedures that is a transboundary movement for first introduction into the environment of the parties of import, the party has to notify the BCH 90, let me take the correct term, I think it's 120 days, 90 days before, after the consent is, has to notify the BCH that 120 days after the decision, no later than after 120 days. 270 days, that means is 9 months, no later than that. As for Article 11, that is decision for domestic use, that is much shorter. That means that parties who take a decision regarding domestic use should inform the BCH no later than 15 days from the decision is taken. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Giovanni. Now I am picking up, oh great that we are having a lot of questions, but then I would say we will answer 2 more questions, and then due to the time limitation that we will pick all the questions later, and then we will address later on those other questions. But then first question is from Dorinton. Could the presenter from OECD, Bertrand, explain whether or not the submission of information is limited to 34 member countries? I think I know the answer, but Bertrand, could you answer?
Hello, this is not Bertrand, it's Peter. I'm hoping you can hear me because I'm coming up in a minute. The answer is it is not limited, and it's not limited in the same way that participation to OECD meetings is not limited to member countries. We have participation from a number of non-members, and we expect that to be reflected increasingly in the database. Thank you.
Very much, Peter. Then I will go with the last one question. I am seeing from the Laura Bonfini from the European Commission Joint Research Center. Since the amount of information is limited, maybe a mechanism of inputting data in one place and a mechanism of synchronization between databases could be foreseen. Having each organization an exact synchronized copy of the database, the organization can filter the data depending on its mandate. On this comment, thank you so much, Giovanni, and then also Peter and Bertrand to answer all those questions. As you can see in the chat box, there are so many questions coming up, but then hopefully we can cover in the next discussion sessions to address some of those key questions written already. And now that I would like to move to the interactive part of the discussion sessions. The first point, I hope you